special meeting to order.
Okay, so we received a quote from TK Elevators for the upgrade of the elevators in the Justice Center. And Jerry Hennessy from TK Elevators is here. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to review it, but Joel, I may turn it over to you so you can discuss maybe or do you want him to present and then?
Yeah, maybe present
okay.
Generally what we're talking about doing.
Okay. And I'll get you a microphone.
Okay. Just an overview of the scope of work?
Sure. Yes, please.
Okay, so the issue is the controllers are what is known as a DMC, or Dover Microprocessor Control. These were developed in the early 80s. They stopped manufacturing this controller in about 2004. So it's in 2004. So they have now taken it to the end of its product life. It's been out of manufacture for almost 20 years. There was a lot of them in the marketplace, so they were supported for a long time, but we can't manufacture those boards anymore. It's the old style board that actually has to have a chip burned into it. You can't just load and download software, so that's all obsolete. So that support has ended, and you're to the point now where if you have a shutdown or a lightning strike or whatever, and those fail, then you have to wait for a new controller to be built, which could be a 6-month downtime. So we've been proactively reaching out to owners and saying, hey, we have a solution, we have a streamlined modernization product to replace that controller. It addresses obsolete door operator equipment. It updates the fixtures and the rest of the elevator to current codes. Typically we reuse what's called the power unit. That's the pump motor valve system that is kind of the muscle of the elevator. We have an alternate in your proposal to replace those because they're what's known as a dry power unit. The pump motor assembly is underneath the oil reservoir. It's exposed, it's noisy, it leaks. The newer systems are submersible. Pump motor valve system is actually in the tank. The pump and motor are submerged. It's more efficient, quieter. So that's why we're recommending that. Any questions about scope?
So I had sent this to Joel, and obviously he went through and suggested some changes. So do we need to go through each one of those,
No,
Joel?
I really don't think you do. I mean, I can summarize it. The vast majority of my changes are okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I have suggested the payment terms rather than be 50% at time of 30 days of time, 50% material order be roughly a third of each phase, and then the final third of each time the work is complete. Tendency indicated they can do 35% in 30 days, 35% material ordered, and then 30% when the work is complete. I guess close enough for my purposes, that's probably covers the intent of kind of what I intend to do. I think the remaining changes are okay. The other issue that I guess we probably need to talk about is because my understanding is simply that the price is subject to adjustment based upon increased costs of TK may have. Obviously, I was concerned about that being unlimited and go on forever. The tendency came back to that similar language they have, but maybe when we talk about a cap or no increase after material is ordered. So I guess my question is, what kind of cap is?
The last one I got approved was 5%.
Okay. I mean, would 5% as maximum or 5% increase in price?
I mean, the pricing has really settled down. They put this in at the pandemic. This job's going to be fairly quick. It's
So at
mostly
5%, that's
our
an
material,
additional,
so-
just on the 145.9 is 72.95. So
So it'd be the maximum.
right around $7,300. I'm okay with that. I mean, I know in my business I can't do that, but I have had that happen before, and I just eat it. But I understand. I wish I could pass mine along. I can't, but I understand that sometimes things change. But if
So-
once it's ordered, I'm okay with, then there's nothing else once it's ordered, right?
Right, right.
Right, so if you order it and it is 145.9, and then, okay.
You know, if there's a $100 increase on something, you're not going to see that. It's just protecting us against big stuff, and that cap, so you know, is going to have to go up to VP of Finance of the whole corporation for approval, which I don't know why they're bothering that poor guy, but it'll just take a few days to process the contract.
So I guess what I can do is I can go through and sort of step in and maybe make some other adjustments and add some language on the cap. But okay, if it's okay for you if I suggest some language there and then
Mm-hmm.
maybe if there's some issues, then we can.
Yeah, we can run through it and then just sign that version and send it to me. The only other one I think was 9A, and if we make that mutual, you okay? Yeah, okay. I think that was the two big issues.
That one was also, when I was reading through it, through your red line, I'm like, yeah, okay, I agree with,
Yeah, but
With
I think
that.
it applies to both parties.
yeah, it applies to both parties, I agree, yeah. Do either of you have any questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah, it's going to cost us a lot of money.
So we're looking at the quote for the modernization of both elevators is $145,900, and to add this submersible pump, is it pump or pumps?
Power unit pump.
Power unit pump, $35,400. When Mr. Hennessy and I spoke about the pumps the other day on a phone call, it's cheaper to do it now, to replace those pumps while they're doing the elevators, than leave them and something go wrong and them have to come back and do it, which I understand that. Also, we will have to coordinate with the different vendors for whether it's electrical, phone, security software, the fire protection. We have a list of those, and I've given those to Jeff and the maintenance guys so we can coordinate. We'd probably have to have a coordination meeting
Right.
with everybody at some point early on into,
And even before we have a contract, we can come out and meet with your vendors and give them a firm scope to quote.
yeah, because so those four vendors, there will be additional charges. We'll have to get quotes from them as well for the work that they're going to have to do as well.
Because you're cranking $200,000 right now is what you're doing.
I understand, but if those elevators are not functioning, we have a massive problem. And if,
Make people use the stairs.
well, we can't do that. I would love to do that, but we can't do that.
Now that 35.4, when you say it was for the pump, now, do both elevators run off one pump, or you have
No,
individual
that
pumps?
35.4 includes both cars as well.
So it
they
does
each-
do both.
Those are completely separate units, different ends of the building. They both will get a new power unit. And the issue, the reason I propose it, they're working fine, but they're as old as the building is, so they're approaching 20 years old. And if they fail, your cost to replace one in the repair market is about $45,000. So you're getting two for less than what one would cost you in the aftermarket.
If you go back there, the current one is leaking. I think they have, what's that called?
It has for a long time.
That, whatever that dry, what's that called?
They pretty much
Oil
all
dry
do.
or floor dry. They have it kind of bermed up, so if it overflows in the tank or the tray, it doesn't go out of the room. Joe, do you have any?
No, I'm satisfied.
No, not at this time.
So with that, I'm going to try to make this motion correct, and you can correct me. I will make the motion to accept the TK elevator with the appropriate changes that have been suggested and agreed upon, and any other language that we talked about today to be added and accepted by TK Elevators for the $145,900 for the elevator modernization and the $35,400 pumps, power unit pumps.
And before I ask for a second on this, I do have a question. Time frame, what are you looking at?
I'm sorry.
I said time frame, what are you looking at? I know it's
There's a time frame in there. We will immediately do our surveys and to get material released. The contract has to be processed. That first initial payment needs to be made before I can cut a PO. But we're about a 14-week lead time then on the equipment after that.
And then the installation will be 3 to 4 weeks per
car.
elevator. So only one will be worked on at a time, or upgraded at a time. And we've worked with talked to everyone appropriate in the Justice Center they will put together a plan to work around the elevator.
I was going to say, that's my biggest concern, is the logistics of all this, trying to coordinate with everyone that's going to be involved. Because this could become a nightmare, especially for the public and for the course themselves.
That has been worked with Justin Holmes, and he is putting together a plan in coordination with the judges and everybody in the building. I don't know which one's going to go first, but he's got a plan putting together a plan for that.
So at best case, even after your 14-week lead time, we're looking at possibly 17 to 18 weeks before this could be completed. Is that what you're saying? Roughly?
Well, you're looking at the 14 weeks and then about 4 weeks a car, so that's 8 weeks. We'll be in the building working. So the process is once we start, say we do the public first, 3 to 4 weeks to complete that work, then the state has to come inspect it before we can turn it back over to you. So we'll turn that back over to you. We will bill half of that last third for that one. And then we'll start the second car, complete it, state inspect it, and bill that last third.
So we're looking at about 22 weeks from start to finish.
Right. Activity in the building, about 8 weeks.
Okay. Well, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
So Joel, you'll work on all of the changes. Okay.
Okay.
So with this, once we get the latest version back, we don't have to have another meeting? Okay. All right.
All right. And just remember that price increase language is also in 9E, so. Yeah, I did too. I didn't realize it was there, so. Okay. Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, everyone.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
So moved.